My name is Ken Nalbone. I'm a senior solutions architect with VMware partner by the name of Ahead. We're based out of Chicago, Illinois, but we are a national company, and we're a solutions provider and consultancy that we focus on enterprise IT challenges. But now that takes us to here, right? Cloud Flex Storage. I told you we participate in a lot of early access programs at Ahead, and this was one that I was very interested in participating in. I worked with my VMware partner, SA, and said, let me into that early access program, please, because I see it unlocking a lot of new use cases and TCO models, right? Like we talked about, the unit of scale in VMC is a node, and if your workloads are storage bound and you have to provision new nodes just so you can have enough storage for your workloads, whether or not you need the compute, it's not sustainable. And not every application needs that vSAN storage. Yes, it is probably the premier performance option for your workloads in VMC on AWS, but it isn't necessary for all workloads. And there's probably a large amount of data that you could fit in some kind of secondary storage as a data store, and it will run just fine. That's the way I perceived it, and I was so excited because I thought this is going to be a game changer. We're going to see a lot more people adopting VMC on AWS for a lot of other use cases now as a result. So I got into the early access program, had access for a few weeks. I tried to beat up on it, like not too bad, so I'll put it this way. I approached the early access as if I was testing a general purpose workload store. I wasn't trying to see if I could get the same performance numbers out of it that I would get out of the vSAN data store. I didn't put any highly transactional workloads on there. That's what vSAN is for, right? This is something else. But I will say that from my perspective, it was the simplest option. This is not the first external storage product offering, whatever you want to say, that I have seen and had exposure to for VMC on AWS, but it is by far the simplest. It was really just a matter of consuming it. It mounts easily with very simple workflows, and then you just consume it, vMotion stuff back and forth, take your snapshots, whatever you want to do. It all just works. It's just a VMware data store. So it was really easy to use in that capacity. As I mentioned, it's a capacity tier data store is the way I would think of it. We're putting stuff on here that doesn't need the highest performance but needs a lot of capacity. Maybe you're not reading it a ton, but you need that data to be available when you need it, and it's well suited for that. And then I'm kind of repeating what these guys have said, but it's also my perspective that I see this as a mature technology. It was introduced in 2019. Datrium then actually released a Cloud DR product before they were ever acquired. We worked closely with them at Ahead, and then all of a sudden they got acquired, and it was a VMware product, so the partnership was a no-brainer. And so now we've reached that point where we think that this is going to be a mature offering because I've seen it now for over 3 years. So I would feel comfortable recommending this to my customers, essentially is what I'm getting at. Like if they have need for vast storage capacity in VMware Cloud on AWS, they don't need a bunch of nodes. I'll say, let's take a look at Cloud Flex Storage. And finally, of course, the whole value prop of this, cloud scale. We can scale compute and storage independently now in the correct use case. And so I'm really looking forward to bringing this to my customers who are looking at VMC on AWS and we need that kind of storage.
If you're interested in learning more about VMware Cloud Flex Storage, please visit our product page on VMware.com or contact your VMware partner or sales rep for more information.